हैं अनंत अंबानी, एक भारतीय अरबपति व्यापारी, और इन्हीं का सपना था वनतारा, जो दुनिया की सबसे बड़ी वाइल्ड लाइफ सेंचुरी है।
This is Anant Ambani, Indian billionaire businessman and the visionary behind Ventara, the largest wildlife sanctuary on Earth, having rescued over 1 million animals. As I was helping with a tiger ingestion at Ventara, Anant walked in and I caught him for an intimate one-on-one interview. This is that interview. Let me ask you something. Why? It's so much rescue. Why?
What do you mean by intimate?
It's just every day, every night.
Just a passion I built since I was a young child. I thought that we should do something for the animals who have no word, like they can't speak for themselves, and these are all endangered animals. I don't know if my great grandchild will be able to ever see them in the wild.
Right.
So I did something. I think we all talk about being kind to animals, and we are taught that from a young child.
Like, the I've heard like these cats are just like basic cats that you have in your home. Like the cats have been by leopard and all this cheetah, I think. I don't know what it is. Is it jaguar? Like, I have no idea. But like they're cute and all that thing. But um, at what point do they start like hunting you? Like, is it just the size? Will my home cat also try to like my pet will also try like to will try to eat me if they could, like if they're big enough in size? I don't know.
You have to, at least in our Indian culture, that you have to be kind to animals and you have to think a lot about animals. However, no one thinks about how we should care for these animals and how we must take care of these animals in a way that they are happy and in a way that we can preserve them. So my main aim was to, from a child, I've always rescued animals. I first rescued an animal from the slaughterhouse in Mumbai. My grandfather took me, and it was a chicken.
A chicken.
So my first ever animal, I was 2 years old and I got a chicken, and then I had 500 chickens because every time I did something good, my grandfather said, "Go get a chicken, go get a chicken, go get a chicken."
And just like a food chicken, just a regular
just
food
a
chicken.
white. In India, we call them boiler chickens. Then my second rescued animal were goats.
Okay.
So I started off with that.
Like, is he a vegetarian? Because if he eats non-veg, it would be like totally pointless of him doing this shit after like explaining about boiler chicken and all those things. I hope he's not non-vegetarian.
So you went small to bigger to bigger.
Yeah, and then I had fish at home.
From what I hear, these guys are really religious, the Ambanis. Like, they trust in God like way too much. That's why I think that just makes them non-violent in nature. I don't know. They are ruthless though in corporate. Yeah, they are.
Mollies and guppies. That time, our government were releasing guppies in the drains to keep the mosquito population in control.
Right.
So I used to go with a net wherever the puddles would form and get the guppies out in the monsoon season. So that's how it all started. And then slowly I thought that there are a lot of people doing a lot for domestic animals, but for the wild there are very few people who do rescue, rehabilitation, and conservation breeding. So I thought this should become the hub, and I started this about. My first elephant I rescued was in 2007.
Wow, that's a long time ago already.
I was a young boy, so
You
I
were
rescued.
a teenager.
I was, I think, 12 or 13 years old
Okay.
when I rescued my first ever baby elephant. She was not a baby. I call her baby because she was a baby to me,
To
but
you.
she was 30 years old. I don't know if you can film her, but her name is Gauri.
Oh, we filmed Corey.
No Cooking November. Great meals with great prices.
Why the
all
fuck
month
don't
long.
I have
Order
premium?
on Zomato.
Yeah.
She's the old
Don't I
elephant.
have premium on this account? I guess
The
not.
little one. She's
Yes,
relatively
yes,
short. We
yes,
filmed
yes.
Corey. She's beautiful.
So that was the first elephant I was going to Ranthambore Tiger Reserve.
Uh-huh.
So I was in the car and I saw her walk with a person who was making a beg
Yeah.
to to survive for himself also.
Sure.
So at that time we got her here. The Mahat is still here. You'll meet him too. His
So
name is
on your-
Kailash.
On your very first rescue, you rescued her and the mahout.
Yes,
Kailash.
yes.
And you
yes.
brought them both.
Yes, Kailash is still here.
Is that
He's actually the owner of the elephant.
Is that the foundation of Ventara? That first elephant?
Yes.
She started
In
it all.
wild animals, the first elephant, and I rescued, I think, 9 macaws from Great Mumbai Circus.
Are like elephants like, can you make them pet in any part of the world? Like, can you pet an? I mean, can you have an elephant as a pet? Is it possible to can purchase and own an elephant in USA without any restrictions? Oh, forwarding individuals. So you can't do it in India, but you can in USA.
What do you do when you are driving down the road and you pull over and go, I want to save that elephant and I want you to come with me? How does. It's not like you had this built.
I
at the
spoke
time.
to the Mahavat, and actually Kailash became a good friend.
Oh, love
So
it.
I spoke to him. I would talk to him. Maybe it was like I just did not go and say I want to buy an elephant. Let's go home.
Yeah.
It's not like that.
Sit down.
You can't
with
buy
him.
elephants. So I I maybe met him 10 times. I went to Jaipur from Mumbai
Oh my goodness.
10 times, and I met him and I told him that, we'll get you a better life. You can stay there with the elephant. The elephant will have a better life. He will have a better life. His family will be educated.
Wow.
So he had a daughter and a son. One was
Wow.
3 and one was 5.
Okay.
So we got them and we educated them.
You brought the whole family.
So we got the whole family. So rescue operation also, at a lot of times, especially with elephants in India, needs a lot of persuasion, needs a lot of dedication from our end to convince the owners that this is the better way. We don't like to tell them that they're doing it the wrong way because they're less aware of what they're doing. So for them, it's their father who's taught them how to control the elephant. And some people do positive reinforcement, some people do negative reinforcement.
And it's a balance,
So
right?
it's a balance,
Yeah.
but sometimes because of the lack of awareness, it's negative reinforcement. That's their own way. So here my way is that I don't think they're wrong. I rather rehabilitate them to take care of the animal
Yeah.
in a correct way than telling them they're wrong and get them off it.
Yeah, so it's like a carrot and stick approach. No, he cannot give stick, so he just gives carrot. Like, there is no way he can give stick to anyone. Basically, I mean, it's a good thing. It's trying to take care of everyone. Though he loves animals more than humans, I guess. I mean, he's not doing it for from goodness of its heart, like taking care of the human and all those people. I mean, the owner of that elephant. Basically, he wants him to be brought to his sanctuary or whatever that Vantara is. And in order to do that, he has to convince the guy to um, give him the elephant. Is that it? I mean, I'm not sure.
Because they have how will they fill their stomachs otherwise?
Right. And they have to break a generational cycle. So
They
that
do.
their children, if they become mahouts and their children aren't negative, they have to be
100%.
positive.
100%.
So last thing, and then I know we've got more to do. I'll ask you one last thing because I'm just so curious. You start with one elephant and you've built the largest wildlife facility in the world. That's
yeah.
renegade conservation. That's not conservation done by the book. It's not like you went to school to be a
To
biologist.
be honest, I've done political science and business management.
Yeah.
So I've studied in these two topics from Brown University.
Right.
It's all practical knowledge, and I've learned from the vets I interact with.
I don't get it. How is studying political science and like what was it again? Business management helping him with doing these things. I mean, it has to be biological something. No, what did he say? I don't.
From the
Said
keepers I interact with, from our biologists, from our management
Biologist.
team. So it's on the job learning, and I have traveled extensively to see
So
how.
these words are so sexy. No, biologist. Yeah, hello, I'm a biologist. Psychiatrist is more better than biologist in terms of sex appeal of the job.
Other animal care centers work, and I must say that I am very proud of small rescue centers operating in India and people with limited resources doing so much for wildlife, like Wildlife SOS and Rescue in Pune and the Pune Snake Park, stuff like that. So I got my inspiration from people across India. Like there was a very famous person in India called Dr. Prakash Amte. He's dedicated his life to do
Yeah, I know this guy.
rescue work
I mean,
for
he
wildlife
does
and
crazy work.
rehabilitate wildlife. At the same time, he's also a doctor
Kudos
by
to him.
profession, and he free of cost gives treatment to the locals in the area where he is, which is extremely forested area and with limited resources. So in India, there's a lot of inspiration to look around. Whenever I travel, I make it a point to visit the local rescue center, rehabilitation center, and also to visit local zoos because zoos do a lot for rehabilitation. People always misconceive. Yes, I don't know what zoos were 20 years ago, but today 80% of the zoos are working towards animal conservation, breeding.
Going to a zoo as a kid was fascinating because I'd get to see a lot of animals and maybe throw some food at them. It was not allowed, but most of the zoos didn't care as much. I mean, I'm talking about way back, not recent times, but now it's quite strict. Now they have that there's those glass walls between zoos and like, what is this called? Is that called something else? Like the thing they have in aquarium and all those things. Like a part of me thinks it's good for them, like they'd get regular food and taken well care of, like these guys Vantarano. But at the other end of the day, they are like wild animals. They need to be in wild. Like there has to be some reason they live in wild. But that's a crazy thought, I guess.
Preservation and releasing back in the wild. So I don't know if you read the news. We just sent 41 Spix macaws
I-
back to the wild.
I've been following it like this, very, very
So we
closely.
sent. So eventually we run a lot of breeding conservation projects here. So eventually our aim for Vantara is conservation breeding, preservation, rescue and rehabilitation, and creating a genetic bank that
Yep.
no one else has ever seen.
Right.
So that how a lot of captive
need
species
to-
today
okay, I'll
are
do it
founder
later.
species for the wild. Like that, we always have a stable captive population so that ever the wild needs it, we can support it. At the same time, supporting the wild also is one of our main missions.
So where is your passion? Is it business and everything that you've accomplished, or is it wildlife? Where does it rank for you?
I think every person has a calling.
Yes.
So my calling is wildlife, and my dream and ambition is to do good for Indian people with business.
Look, the thing is, he's the elder son, right? No, no, the younger son of his father. About calling, like as he's talking about, like his calling is wildlife. I wonder what calling is like. Is this is this a truth? I mean, isn't calling would be? I mean, I'm not. I'm kind of out of words. I don't know what I'm trying to explain here. Basically, I wanted to know that is calling something. I mean, which is used by people who like have a lot of stuff with them, like they come from well-to-do families and all those things. Like someone who's poor, he needs to do a 9 to 5 job. I mean, 9 to 5 job is a luxury for him because he would be getting like 20, 35, 40K a month in India, and that would be something he would have dreamed of when he was living off in some small huts or anything like that. Would he care about his calling? Like, bro, my calling is painting. I should start painting and leave this job for my passion. Like, would that be a thing for him in his state? He can do it. Like, if he wants to, he can leave all sorts of business, excuse me, all sorts of business and everything, and just work on this project, and he will be doing good. I don't know. That is something I have never thought of what my calling would be. But yeah, is that the case? I've also seen one video or a podcast. What was it? I don't remember. There was this guy who went to Mansarovar Yatra, and when he went there, he found his calling. Like he came to know that he needs to work on some specific field, and he started working in it, and he got pretty successful. Everything went good for him. I mean, I'd like to visit like Mansarovar once. I've heard fascinating things about that place. I mean, it's kind of spiritual as well for us here in India. And yeah, I'd love to visit there once.
And you figured out
So-
how to do both.
I think there's not been a single day in my life, at least from the last 15 years, that I've not given 2 hours a day to Vantara. So my aim is not more than 2 hours because I think, and weekends I'm mostly here. So Jamnagar is home for me, so I
Sure.
work from here.
Sure.
So yeah, that's it.
Well, it's a very admirable passion, and I know, whether you admit it or not, we've spent more than 2 hours talking about wildlife in a day.
We have.
So thank you for
Thank
everything,
you.
my friend.
Thank you.
If you enjoyed this interview and want to learn more about what Vantara looks like,
I mean, crazy interview. Good to do this thing with this guy. Like I mean, he's a fascinating guy in my opinion.